POV Italian Cooking, where today we're going to make chocolate fig banana bread. So in our last video I made fig bread, and I actually recorded this video along with that video same time. But in addition to having some figs that were nearing that overripe, we had some bananas that were about the same. So I've always liked banana bread. You throw in figs and it gets a little better, and you add chocolate, and what do you got? You got the holy trifecta of bread goodness. So let's get started. Let's take a quick look at the ingredients for our chocolate fig and banana bread. Looks like a lot of ingredients, but it's not too bad. So let's just go ahead and get started. What we've got is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of just regular old granulated sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla, 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of chocolate morsels, preferably milk chocolate. I had semi-sweet chocolate in my cupboard, so I'm going to use that. We're going to have 1 cup of roughly chopped figs, favorite time of the year, fig season, and then 1.5 cups of mashed banana. So let's get started. The first step, real easy one. All we're going to do here real quick is take all of our dry ingredients, throw them in a bowl, and mix all those together. Just kind of roughly give them a quick mix. Don't worry about whisking them crazy or anything. That's good enough. Set those aside. So you don't know this from the way I've edited this video, but I've started to cut these figs twice, and for some reason Alexa thinks I'm talking to her, so she'll say, I can't find the song, and then make up some title. So, third time's a charm. For our figs, we're just going to cut off the stem, cut off the bottom, and we're going to really just cut them into, we'll say 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch chunks, just like so. And we're going to do that until we have a full cup of figs. These figs are very ripe, which all that means is they're soft and the sugars are, all the way developed, and that it's just going to really just make this bread even that much better. So I'm just going to continue to cut my figs up until I have 1 full cup of figs. So our next step, now that we've got our figs all cut up, will be to mash up. I always try not to use the word mash in vain, since that's also my last name. So we are going to, I can't even say smash, because my first name being Scott, I grew up being called Smash all my life. So we're going to mush. We're going to use the word mush these bananas. And what I want to end up with is 1 1/2 cups of mushed bananas. The riper your banana, the better. These bananas were relatively ripe. They had some nice black spots developing on them. Wouldn't have hurt if they were another day or 2 old. But I wanted this bread tonight, not tomorrow night. And my figs were good and ripe and would have been probably not very good in a couple days. So what I'm going to do is continue to smush these bananas until I have them the consistency I would like, which is really, we just want them a nice, we'll say like almost a paste. Actually, just about got it. This fork's not really working for me. Wooden spoon's going to do a better job. So I'm going to continue to mash these up. Oh, I said it. I used my name in vain. I'm going to smush these up until I have my 1.5 cups. Somewhere I have a measuring cup for these. There's my 1 cup. So it's going to be 2 or 3 bananas. Right now I have 3. I might have to grab a 4th to get to my 1.5 cups. It's going to be a little bit chunky, and that's okay. That's actually right there. This consistency is perfect for our bananas. Time to start mixing our wonderful dish together. First thing we're going to do, 2 eggs. Try not to make too much of a mess. We're going to go 2 eggs right into our mixer. our 1/2 cup of vegetable oil right into our mixer. 1½ cup of smushed bananas. Put those in our mixer as well. And lastly but not leastly, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. We're going to put our paddle on our mixer like so. And we're just going to turn this on low and let this get mixed together. As you can see, pretty much mixed, looks good. Next step is to add our dry ingredients. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And we're just going to let this go until they are just mixed together. Make sure we get all that in there. You'll hear my mixer start to slow just a little bit. Let's zoom in on that so you can take a gander at how it's coming together. A little bit moist, probably a little bit too moist, but we're going to go with it. It looks more like a batter than a dough, which has me a little bit worried. So what I'm going to do is heck with it. We're going to see what happens. We're going to go with it. Ooh, that's too moist. We're going to add a little bit more flour to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour in here. I want to firm this up just a little bit. It is too moist. That's the problem with measuring my flour by volume rather than by weight, is it can be very, very hard due to the way flour packs to make a consistent dough. That's a little bit better. I'm going to grab a little bit more flour here. So adding that little bit of flour worked. It stiffened it up just enough. So now the next step we're going to do by hand is scrape off the beater here. Alright. Couple more quick scrapes. We want to get all that goodness that we can. So we've got our batter. Next step, chocolate chips, figs, right in. We're just going to give this a quick stir. Going to get everything spread throughout. Perfect. Last step. I'm actually filming 2 episodes tonight, making 2 different fig breads, this being the second. So I have one really nice 9x5 pan and then this old glass one. So the old glass one is a little bit funky looking, but we're gonna make it work. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to butter the entire pan. Make sure you put down a good bit of butter, a nice coating. Don't miss any spots on your pan. Now we're just going to go ahead, dump this into our 9x5 bread pan. Make sure we get all of that wonderful batter, all of those beautiful figs, and that happy, happy chocolate. Now this goes in the oven for 60 to 70 minutes until you can put in a toothpick and pull it out and it's clean. Now after 30 minutes at 350 degrees, I am going to cover this very loosely with foil just so the top doesn't get overly brown. So total time at 350 degrees, 60 to 70 minutes. After a half hour, pull it out, put a foil tint on, and then throw it back in the oven. We'll come back when this is ready to pull out of the oven. Now the timer just went off on our chocolate fig banana bread, but I did have to let it stay in the oven for about another 10 minutes just because the dough was so wet. I put my toothpick down in it and it came out with a little bit of dough on it, so I put it in there for 5 minutes and then another 5 minutes, but now it's ready. So let me grab it real quick. That, my friends, is a beautiful loaf of bread. I am going to let that cool, torture my wife with it. I'm going to set it like where she can smell it. But when it cools down, we'll come back, we'll give this bread a try and see how it turned out. My chocolate fig banana bread really isn't cool enough to cut, but it's getting late on a work night and I kind of want to get things packed up so I can go to bed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off a little piece here. Oh, still nice and steamy. So I got to cut it a little bit slower. Wow, you can see it's still hot. The chocolate kind of balled up on my knife a little bit. Way too hot to be cutting normally, but you know, when you're in a hurry and you want to clean up and go to bed, you got to do what you got to do, right? The smell of this bread is absolutely amazing. Wow.
It's good.
The chocolate, the banana, the fig just combines for an outstanding flavor. It's, you know, it's just sweet enough to be a dessert, but not so sweet that, you know, you couldn't maybe toast a piece and use it for breakfast. Besides, it's got fig and banana in it, so you're getting your fruit, right? Well, anyway, this is outstanding. I'm gonna let this finish cooling up, get it wrapped up, hit the sack so I can get up in the morning and start all over again. With that, thank you so much for watching POV Italian Cooking. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, but most importantly, click that subscribe button in YouTube. Ring the bell so you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and ciao!